Hi, I'm JJ Smith Medium, and welcome to this week's episode of Spirit Stories, the weekly wow. This week was interesting in that I had an appointment with a guy from California. We did a phone appointment, and he's somebody that I kind of know, but not overly well. We were business acquaintances 20 years ago. And when we started the reading, I had a feeling that he was wanting to speak to a spirit that was male, but there was a female that was coming through so strong that I asked him, are you okay if I talk to this woman first? And he was like, yeah, great. Who is it? And I said, she keeps making me feel that she's like a mother, but not a mother. Would that make sense to you? And he said, yes, I would know who that is. And I said, she's making me feel like she didn't have any kids, and it was like her job to watch over you. And he said, yes, that was my nanny. And we're talking, and I said, she keeps showing me a picture of you playing in the streets, like you are in a city, but it's like the neighborhood where everybody kind of knows each other, and you play outside until the street lights come on, and then she's calling you home. And he said, yep, that's always exactly how it worked. So we were talking about that, and she was just making me feel really like so much love toward him, right? That she followed him after as he became an adult, and always like kept an eye on his career, and still just had a lot of love for him, like he was her child throughout her whole life, even though she had moved on and gotten married and had children of her own. And so that was really sweet. He was excited about that because he was surprised. He said, I wouldn't have even thought about her coming through. And so we finished visiting with that spirit, and all of a sudden I'm like, there is a guy, a male spirit here, and I feel like you guys were kids together and that he died in a car accident. Do you know who that is? And he said, absolutely, I know who that is. And I said, he keeps showing me pictures of like fast cars and like him racing cars. And he said, that's actually how he passed, was in a car accident doing something similar to that. And so Jack was just like, you are blowing my mind. I wouldn't have even thought about these people coming through. And I said, well, let me focus on who you're wanting to talk to. And I said, I keep seeing a guy that is like really barrel chested, right? Like in his day, he would have been really muscly and like a bodybuilder. And he said, yep, that is who I was wanting to talk to. And that's who I'm holding a picture of. And so I described what he looked like. And the whole time, Jack was like, yep, yep. And I said, was this a brother to you? And he said, yes, my oldest brother, that there was enough age difference that he could have been like a dad. And I told Jack, he's making me feel like he has a lot of guilt about like where he should have protected you and his sister and he didn't. And that always really bothered him all the way to his passing. And Jack said, yes, I do know what he's talking about. I guess there was a neighbor in the neighborhood that was like super sketch and inappropriate with the kids sometimes. And so his brother didn't know about it until much later after it had happened. And so his brother had carried some guilt with him about that he had not been paying close enough attention to catch what was going on when his brother and sister were so much younger. But it was a really great conversation in that Jack, was reassuring to his brother saying, you know what? Like it's in the past and that's nothing, that you have to carry with you anymore. And so it was interesting because even though I find that spirit doesn't have usually like guilt or those types of emotions that we would have here on this plane, they do have an awareness. And so sometimes they will come through and be apologetic or be more like acknowledge that happened and they wish it could have had a different turnout. So it ended up being a really great session. In fact, I was laughing because after like an hour and a half, I told Jack, I gotta go, right? I've got more appointments behind you. But he just had so many spirits that were wanting to come through and talk to him. It was fantastic and it was exciting. I know he was really, really excited about it. And that's this week's episode of the Weekly Wow. If you would like to schedule a session of your own, feel free to go to my website, jjsmithmedium.com, and you'll find the calendar there and also all of the past episodes of the Weekly Wow if you'd like to watch through those. Thanks for joining me, and I'll catch you next week.